Gary, we head to Fleetwood this weekend, and it feels now that after such a chaotic period of games, we're starting to find that more regular pattern of just Saturdays at the moment. How important for you and for this squad do you think that will be?
Yeah, I think it's really important that we have that time on the training pitch, so we have that time together at the Cliff Hill training ground where we can, work with the players on the key areas that we need to improve to get results. But ultimately we would be like to be playing Saturday, Tuesday. I just think the squad at the moment is really stretched in this period of games before the Christmas period starts up. Hopefully we get players back fit. But like I say, work on the training pitch to get better at those areas where we feel we need to improve to start winning games.
Alex, minimising the impacts of perhaps those players that aren't in a position to be playing so much, to gradually bring them back. I mean, where are we at with that injury situation at the moment? Obviously, we know Demi had his operation yesterday as well.
Yeah, the biggest challenge we've had is this kind of run started a while ago in terms of results, but in terms of injuries as well. And it came about because of certain things going wrong in terms of the end of the transfer window, but then we had to play players more minutes than we would have liked, and that had a knock-on effect with more injuries. And then it was almost like a vicious circle that we couldn't get out of, because we had to keep playing the players and then ran the risk all the time of getting injuries. We have so many discussions between the staff and the medical staff where we are, trying to look after players but also trying to win games, and at times we obviously push players just too far, and then obviously at other times players are taking longer to get up to speed. So we know exactly where we are, we know why we've been on the run we've on, we know what we're doing well. I think that's something we have to focus on, that we're doing a lot right at this moment in time. There's key things we're not doing well that we have to get better to win games. And that clarity and that understanding and that togetherness as a group has been there this week. We've talked things through. There's a real focus on the training pitch, and we're ready to go to win a game. But getting players back quickly and giving us more options is key to that as well.
One of the two players we know that we were closest to seeing back was Ilmari Niskanen and Dion Rankin. What can you say about those two?
He's trained all week, is progressing all the time. There's potential he could be on the bench on Saturday, which would be brilliant from him in terms of the time it's taken him to get to this stage, and great for all the players as well. He's a fantastic character just to have on the training pitch. He improves standards, he brings energy, but to have him on the pitch would be amazing. Dion will return to us next Thursday, and when he does, he'll be fully up to speed, ready to train, ready to play. But obviously we'll need to manage his minutes to get him back to full fitness. But again, we thank Chelsea for their support in this, the help that they've gave us, and how quickly they've worked to get him to fitness. And now it's up to us to then progress him to get in the team again, and he will be another huge addition. He was a massive player for us early in the season. It will be great to have him back.
I think initially Dion was due to return the start of this week. Was that something that delayed because this end, or something that Chelsea wanted?
No, they've been scanning him throughout, and they've been keeping us in contact with us on his progress, and he wouldn't have been available for the game anyway, so we felt it was just better that he finished his rehab there and he comes back next week.
Given what you said just a moment ago about that vicious cycle and perhaps playing players that weren't perhaps ready, for you must have more than one eye on January already and what you want to achieve in that month.
Yeah, I think the focus has to be on the games before then. We have to obviously spin plates. Myself, I'll speak to Marcus and Malcolm and be clear on what we need and be clear on the targets that we're looking at to help the squad. But I think it's important we win games before that and put ourselves in a better position in the league. I still think there's so many points to play for. It's still there for us to have an amazing season. We don't become a bad team overnight. There has been, like I said, key reasons why we are where we are. They're not excuses. We have to deal with those challenges, and the team is ready to go and do that.
Let's talk about Fleetwood then. They've had a good couple of results recently in 3 different competitions. What have you seen perhaps over those matches that you think could cause us a threat this weekend?
Yeah, I've seen a team that's obviously been in transition. A new manager comes in. They have changed their style a little bit. They have been very solid. They've given themselves opportunities to win games, and they have won games, which breeds confidence. And we have to be ready, like any week in League One, for a really, really difficult game. But I think the key is focusing on ourselves and what we can do to help win the game. And like I said, the discussions we had this week with the players on certain things and how we go about, attacking and defending in those moments, the intensity that we do that. And I think we've seen that in training, and we have to continue that into the game.
Two sides that find themselves in similar positions and quite eager for points. Do you see this as a must-win or a must-not-lose?
Every game's a must-win. But we don't put that on the players. I think if you put that on the players, it creates anxiety, it creates pressure. What we have to do is support the players. We have to give the players clarity on how we can win and what we need to do to win. So every game for me is a must-win. We believe we can win every game. We obviously haven't recently, but that focus and training, that clarity on what we do doesn't change. So we have to be ready on Saturday and prepared to win the game.
I mean, we've certainly been creating chances. It's perhaps just a case of testing the goalkeeper more, and it feels like it's clicking very soon.
Yeah, like I said, that when you lose games, it's very easy to say everything's wrong and the team are terrible and we're not doing this right. On the flip side, it's very easy when you're top of the league after 8 games to say the team are amazing, when we knew at that moment there were certain things we had to be better at and we weren't getting everything right. So I think as a staff and as a club, we're very grounded, we're very humble. We look at the overall picture and how the team are doing. We don't get overly affected by results, whilst we know that results are very, very important and we have to change them. So it's just having a clarity on what we're doing and how we can go and win the game and change our fortunes. And I think it could turn as quickly as it turned in a negative way. I think it can do the same in a positive way.
Just to end then, off the pitch, last week you yourself, Nico, Perks and Sweens went to visit a young lad called James. Just tell us a little bit about that experience and everything that James has been through.
Yeah, it was amazing. James, had a serious problem that he had to obviously get an operation that lasted, I think it was 17 or 18 hours. And his uncle wrote a letter into the club, which I actually spoke to the players about back when we played Charlton. When I got the email, I mentioned it to the players and said what our performances and our results do for our supporters in terms of inspiration. But he's a young man that has shown us inspiration, and when we went to see him, his positivity in a difficult moment was incredible. His self-belief on how he was going to come back was incredible, and we spent just under an hour with him and his family, and to see what he's been through and how he keeps fighting was a great inspiration for us. So as much as we've probably helped James, I think he's probably at this moment in time helping us more.